all current incubations that are already ongoing. We have planned to increase the incubation participation. So we want to onboard 3 new incubation projects. But this time it will be a
And the rest would just be, just handling the booth and just handling the floor, just, getting out there, spreading the word, spreading the Qubic gospel. So the overall goal basically is to just show our face, introduce our tech, make as many high value connections as possible, and use our presence just to build more and future engagements.
Sounds very exciting, man. And it sounds also to me like you've done your homework really well. I think the proposal was, really well written. And I think what I've seen in the community is that there are already a couple of folks that are planning to visit you guys as well and to support you and the team also further. If I may ask you a question, what got you like motivated to, actually run the event yourself, or at least, apply to run the event itself and to request a CCF proposal?
Well, me and my community lead, we've been, just discussing. This is how I wound up in the ambassador program in the first place. Was I wanted to I love the project, so I wanted to do what I can for the ecosystem, and on one area I was like, well, I live in Georgia, so I'm thinking, maybe because I do have a network of like artists and things like that, I would like to do something NFT related. So we had these conversations about this, but these are real quaint, really small events that, they would reach my local, like my immediate market out here, but I don't think they're the things that would really impact the ecosystem on a national scale. So, and it wouldn't be anything to necessarily further the, our liquidity and things like that. So we had a discussion that basically we might need to do something else. And then he mentioned Vegas. So I was like, one day I just decided, I was like, yo, have we been to any trade show? I mean, to any conventions? Or are we even represented in that space here? So what I wound up doing was I spent like all night. I was up till the morning just searching all of the events in the United States, and then I was like, okay, well, there are some in Vegas. So
nice.
I saw that it was right around the corner. So I was like, oh, if we're going to do this, we need to do it now. Let me look at, let me see who's going to be there. So then I looked at the itinerary. I mean, the what do you call it? Basically where the list of people that'll be speaking at the conference and like the sponsors, everybody that's going to be there. So I'm like, yeah, this kind of looks like somewhere we need to be. I saw it was a Coinbase US policy. The lady who handles US policy is there. People who run blogs. Some heavy hitters as far as, just the influencer space and everything. So I'm like, this is a pretty financial groups and, development groups. There's so many different, it's a plethora, like a large array of the type of people that we need to be connecting with inside of the US market. And plus these are people that will also be at the other conferences as we go. So the more we go, the more we show our face, I think the more seriousness that it leads people to. It's like, okay, these guys are really here. And I think we're like that online, because if you were bots. So, and I think that's beautiful that they will, with all of their might go into their groups and say, these are just bots and we know better. So I think I kind of want to have that same presence in the physical space. So that was basically it. We, just looked at all the information about it and, checked booth prices. And then I immediately just started putting a budget together, because like the way I see it is that if I could just take that burden off of everybody else and let me just go ahead and do all the research, do the homework, get it approved, and then, on to the next thing. And, also I wanted to learn how to put in proposals, and I wanted to learn how to, kind of differentiate even the difference in proposals and all this type of stuff, the things that I've learned. So, yeah, that's basically it, man. It just started from just some chats that me and
nice
having, and then we wound up building into this.
Nice, I really appreciate it, and thank you so much also for taking your proposal. And also nice to speak to you here, for a first time, and I hope it won't be the last time. If you guys have any questions for E, feel free to drop your question here in the chat or in the AMA channel. And then, yeah, we can take it, from there. I guess on Wednesday, we'll know more about how the computers are thinking about all of these, amazing proposals. Yeah, so I saved my own proposal, as the last. I am also making a CCF proposal for my own work group, which is called the Strategy and Operations Work Group of Core Services, requesting 72.5 billion to fund basically the team for the next 3 months. I actually created a very quick deck. That's what you get when you talk to an ops guy. Yeah, so what does the strategy and operations team do? So the strategy and operations team is basically responsible for translating Qubic strategic vision into more tangible results. We'll look out for things that are happening day to day within the protocol when it comes to, for example, the company's roadmap, the measurement of milestones and whatnot. As you all know, Qubic holds a very ambitious vision and centralized project, right? Which means that information. It also means that that accountability is everywhere. And what my team does is basically making sure that we try to achieve all those milestones as agreed, and that we also break them down into smaller more actionable plans so that they are understandable and also easier to achieve. Provide special support, or we also basically provide special support to, for example, events when there are IPOs. We provide special support to special initiatives like for example the Race Act recently, or if we see that there's a potential for a certain program that could actually help in providing more growth for the network, then that is something that we are taking on. I think the most successful example of that is the ambassador program. Another thing that the team does is that it helps with removing inefficiencies. So we help a lot with documentation. We help a lot with streamlining workflows and making sure that people get to know each other, that there's a bridge in case there are conflicts, right? So we organize cross-functional meetings. We do some reporting. And basically make sure that collaboration runs smoothly across these different work groups. We also help with resource allocation, which means that if certain individuals need to be hired, then we also make sure that we also hire the right people, or we find the people that can help us in hiring people. What we generally also try to do is just to remove roadblocks for people so that they can actually focus on doing their job. Another thing that the team also does is that we work on mitigating risk. We do also legal mitigation. For example, we make sure that the different work groups can sign contracts and that they're also protected in doing so. Up to a couple of months ago, for example, a lot of the contracts that were signed in the name of Qubic were all done privately, which brings a lot of risk to Qubic, but also to the individuals signing those contracts. So what we do is basically making sure that those individuals and the Qubic is also protected from potential legal action and whatnot. Something else that also includes the team is that they work on measuring performance and also accountability. So the team has regular meetings with all the different work groups and how they are progressing on their roadmap. Right, so some examples of of impact recently is driving the actual roadmap. It's obviously important that we get stuff done. Obviously, there are a few things that will not always be achieved. I think also here, what the challenge is, if you work within a decentralized environment, is that information is everywhere, and where in a normal company you have more clear sort of reporting lines. If you work in a decentralized project, often means that you need to pull that information from somewhere, or you need make it very easy that that information arrives somewhere. That's what my team helps with. I think another area of impact that we had was at this point there are more than 9 communities, over 100 different members. I know that Kim's, but also Razia have been doing an amazing job with now onboarding new Asian communities. For example, Kim's is now in the process of onboarding, community leads for Vietnam, for South Korea. I know that Razia has also been looking into, the Americas and, for example, Brazil. There are a lot of things going on, and I think on a lower level, Razia has recently organized also RaiseHack. Has been doing proposals for contribute. It's been helping, for example, other people to get more familiar on how to create effective CCF proposals. These guys are really forming an extension of the current ecosystem team, and I think that's important to see. Where in the past we had ecosystem managers that were basically based across the world. Right, we figured that with less budget, we would maybe be able to do more. So you have to see these community leads and also the ambassadors as real extensions, basically, of the ecosystem team, the marketing team, and the ops team. It looks like that at the end of July, we will probably be with about 14 communities. So I think that's by itself also really exciting. Something else that the team is doing is that it's managing the legal entity. So we have a legal entity that is capable of signing contracts, that is maintaining also legal agreements, also that it makes and basically make sure that all the work groups within the Qubic ecosystem can actually come to us and also ask us for legal recommendations, and whatnot. And that's something that we offer. I think to speed up, maybe a few things. I guess how you could strategy and operations team is also a Swiss Army knife. We do of everything, at least a little bit, right? So we've ran, for example, parts of marketing before. Now we're helping also Retro and Brahms with, getting familiar, I think, with how that used to work in the future. In the past, so that they're best, set up for the future. We do. Basically doing, a lot of these sort of ad hoc also response things. And last but not least, I think what's been a wide proof of impact has been the communications across all these different channels, Discord, AMAs, X Spaces, and other interviews. We are really trying to help Albert and also his team, how is Qubic basically think about, daily active users, for example. These are metrics that I would really like to see, but I think with QWatch, we have an interesting incubation that would actually be able to provide those, those numbers. But yeah, I think if you want to have efficiency, these things are, these metrics are really important. I think another learning is that I think without the help of Kim and Razia, it would have been very hard, I think, to drive the ambassador program forward. Maybe we should have done this a little bit earlier so that we could have had a wider impact. But overall, I'm, fairly happy with it. And I think the last learning from my side is, I think over the last 6 months, but also over the last 3 months, a lot of has changed. I think we have a lot of new work groups. We have a lot of new leaders now, within the Qubic ecosystem. And I think that level of decentralization and where the ownership is of certain accounts or certain tools or where certain information is, makes it sometimes very, challenging actually to work. You need a, very thick skin. That's something that we will need to do better. I think like the carryover or like the transfer of information, that's something that I think as an ecosystem, as a working ecosystem, is something that we will need to do better in the future. We work with incredibly smart people. So I have all the, the hopes that we will do this much better. So fast forward in H2. So also in Q3, we will be working on a couple of different pillars. One is accelerating ecosystem growth. 2 is ensuring Qubic's health and also long-term sustainability, and also driving operational excellence and team efficiency. It means in detail that we will be, continue to work on the roadmap planning for Q3, Q4. that we will continue to provide strategic and operational support for all the Qubic work groups, and making sure that they are relieved of any obstacles that they have. We will continue to help the ecosystem team with events and also media planning as we go through scaling the investor program. As I mentioned before, we're now doing the dirty work for the ecosystem team to make sure that they have a good lay of the land of what events are actually out there and what the ambassador representation is also locally, right? So who are the local resources that can actually help Albert and also Mr. Rose with making sure that we have the best events, the best hackathons actually out there. We'll also be looking at launching a university program. I think it's early. I think it's important that we get as early as possible in contact with with, for example, software engineering talent at these universities. And I think we need to do this way earlier than we do now. And I think there's an opportunity for us to to double down on that. I don't think that at this point the community leads have enough time or the resources to really focus on that. So that's something that we would like to do. Furthermore, helping the rollout of the Qubic Academy 2.0. I know that Retro, Broms, and also the OG marketing guys, Sense, IM, and Chris, I think we'll be working on this as well. And I guess what we would like to do is to help them with also making sure that this academy 2.0 will be a success. But I'll leave it up to the other guys to talk about it more. We'll also continue with all the boring stuff, very important stuff, which is the legal and also risk management across all the work groups, making sure that we're all safe. And last but not least, I would love to keep this cadence of making sure that you, also the community, is aware of all these things that are going on within Qubic. I believe that Kim's, for example, is preparing these awesome newsletters nowadays, which I think also contributes to this consistent stream of communication and also transparency. Obviously, we need to have also great talent. So we will also continue to support, for example, Core Tech, with making sure that they're making the best tech hires there as well. So yeah, these are the different pillars that we were working on. This is a quick also budget breakdown, which you can also find in the proposal. So in total, we'll be requesting a little bit more than 100K or 72.5 billion. We will spend the majority of that money on salaries, but also hiring fees and also legal fees. There's a stuff of that also needs to go to the operational costs of the entities that we hold. There is some traveling every now and then that needs to happen, but if we don't use it, we basically stack up these funds for like the next months. Usually we're pretty I think efficient with how we run in the payments. So for example, the last period, we actually used our 2 months funds to in the end pay for basically for the total of 4 months. So it's also my expectation that perhaps with this proposal we will be able to stretch it also further than just Q3. Then so the call to action is to approve the proposal that we have out there. Any of the unspent funds will be either used to cover expenses for the upcoming months, like I just discussed, and all the expense tracking can be done via qcs.com, and that's also, by the way, for Albert's expenses. You can also find the expenses there as well.
That is stack QA tomorrow.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. You can ask them here, or you can ask them later in the different proposal channels. If there are no other questions, then I think we can slowly complete this call.
What? No, this is today.
I'm just gonna wait a minute if there are any questions.
That's alpha right there.
In the meantime, on Thursday we are running.
Dude, that's crazy.
What we've seen thus far, I think, is that Retro will speak a bit about all the amazing stuff that him and also Broms have been doing for the marketing team. I think that's awesome. We will also have Pims and Arazia also talking a bit about the ambassador program and the impact also that it had thus far. I think that the ecosystem team might give a little update, perhaps also around the, hopefully, Nostromo. And yeah, I think I've also asked a few other work groups to, potentially also present. So yeah, also on Thursday, I think it should be absolutely worthwhile for you guys to, to show up and also to attend.
I'm too excited right now. I'm shaking.
I don't see any other questions. So I would like to thank everyone for joining in today. I would like to thank you, E, and also Albert for jumping in today and also, taking the leap to present your proposal, especially you, E. I would like to thank you for, for taking the time to jump on today.
I know, everyone.
And also you, Albert, for being a driving force for Qubic, as you've always been.
I'm about to buy some.
So if there's no other questions, I would like to thank everyone for joining in today. Wish you a wonderful afternoon, and we'll speak later. And hopefully see you on Thursday.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the pump.
All right. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Peace. Yo. Did you see what I saw in the Discord for QXMR? Oh man, that's alpha right there. They have a proposal for a staking smart contract for QXMR holders, where you get a piece of an actual XMR mining, or not XMR, Qubic mining. QXMR token holders can stake their tokens in a smart contract seamlessly integrated with Qubic's mining operations, earning rewards in Qubic proportional to their stake size and chosen duration. An optional burn mechanism allows stakers to sacrifice a portion of QXMR to boost their APY, enhancing returns while increasing QXMR scarcity to benefit all holders. My current weekly mining rewards range from 25 to 30 million Qubic. Will be redirected to QXMR staking wallet and distribution as follows: 67% to stakers, 30% to fund mining operations, makes sense. 3% to shareholders, meaning the people, the smart contract, people who bought shares, the smart contract. This transparent, incentivized structure fosters active participation, aligns stakeholder interests, and drives the Qubic network's sustained growth and value creation. Functional features. Staking interface is sleek. Reward distribution. Qubic payouts calculated based on stake size and duration, ensuring fair and transparent rewards. QXMR burning. Optional QXMR burn feature to boost APY, promoting token scarcity and enhancing value for all holders. They're already burning a lot of tokens. Wallet integration, seamless compatibility with Qubic's web and mobile wallets for smooth, secure staking, dashboard, real-time analytics, shareholder rewards, Dude, I'm so glad I was looking through that. Dude, I'm about to buy more QXMR. Dude, that's crazy. And it's super cheap too. It's as much as QX, or not Q. It's as much as Qubic. It's 1-to-1. I'm about to load up. All right. I hope the audio was okay on the Discord AMA. I never really streamed anything like that. This is only my second stream. All right. Peace out.